My name's Lee, and I am the first witness. And I'm going through my 1260 days in sackcloth, suffering in order to learn an ancient skill, the third eye, which is not what you think it is. But I can wake it up, and I've been going round on my journey, meeting people and waking it up. And I'm to teach those of you who can how to do this, how to connect to an ancient and advanced global natural network that we've lost for a long time, since before the deluge. A natural network that the animals use on a daily basis, and we were once much closer to the whales and the dolphins in the way that we operated. We were spiritual because our brains contain electromagnetic rods and cones. The problem with modern Homo sapiens is we've forgot all about them. We've been made to forget all about them, and we've lost our link with up there, with a network. You've been cut off from L. You no longer hear our father's network. How does a hummingbird fly 3,000 miles to a tree its parents were born in? Or how does a monarch butterfly migrate over many generations, thousands of miles? How do the younger butterflies know where to go? And a homing pigeon, how does it always find the way home? How? The animals have a sixth sense of danger before an earthquake or a tornado or a tsunami, and they get out of there. How do the animals know? How? Are animals prophets? I will show you what we have lost, a link to nature. This is why prophets have to wander about being tested and made to suffer and survive until they get it, until they get linked. Look at how long I've been pursued for my own safety by the police. Over the last couple of years I spent 14 months wandering, and every time I go for a walk they've been desperate to stop me, and I've had 3 years of legal actions against me. Go and see on Odyssey. 332 videos that over the last 4 years that were banned on YouTube. And it's a whole story of when all this crazy started. All the stuff a prophet has to live with and be tested with and put through. Non-stop police harassment, pursuit. Nobody believes you. The world says you're nuts. They tried to section me, police. 4 attempts so far. 4. And I break out of Melrose Mental Hospital in Scotland twice, and I'm pursued all day with police and dogs and quads. I got caught. And then all night on the second time, but I get away. And twice I couldn't escape the mental health assessment. But the doctors always let me go, because there's nothing wrong with me. So why are they trying to stop me desperately, go out and wander about and live like an animal? Because I'm engaging in this, the third eye. I'm using it like a Neanderthal did, but not for meditation, not for visions. Using it to hunt and to gather, to find food and water, to find people you love, to avoid danger in the future. Because this is the third eye, a connection to a network run by angels in the bodies of grey aliens. And the greys look after thousands of worlds that we built, looking after the life and the systems on every world and controlling the natural network. But you can't see them. They do it from the shadows. But they tell the animals where to migrate to, just as they tell me where I need to be to find food or shelter when I'm wandering. And they can look through time, and they have been for the last 12,000 years. It's how everything is possible. The predictive programming, the prophecies, all the stuff I show you in my earlier videos. The miracle crow picture of a train station. We look through time, and they can manipulate things. But we don't do it with an aluminium mirror. They do it in the minds making the energy swirl in a Fibonacci spiral. But our grey friends are here to guide those by looking into the future. And then those who can connect to the network can be taught to avoid bad shit. And they've taught me, so I can teach you. And the ancient ways of a Neanderthal are alive inside me now. And I'm teaching people the last 6 weeks, and they can do it too. And I can feel that they're showing others, and I can sense it like scat on a radio, all around me, spreading. The ancient ways have returned to this world. The way we used to be, more like animals. Prophets are just like animals, connected to our Father's network. There's no miracles, just advanced technologies that we don't understand, that we've been blind to. The Greys work for El, and they watch over creation, and they make the small things on his behalf, on thousands of worlds. They look after the natural systems, they guide the animals, and they run the show, and they control the network. It's they who put Abaddon on his throne on behalf of my Father. And this world was cut off at that point from the whole, and it's a prison planet now where everybody's blinded, and it's them and this network of our Father El. It's locked you in a box and giving you false idols.
I thought it would put things in perspective for you.
No, Kay, it's actually kind of sad, man. Really, we need to let them out of there. I mean, they need to know the world is bigger than that.
Still a rookie.
Locked in a box. Separated from the whole of existence, which you could not even imagine with your preconceived false ideas which have been given to you on this prison planet. You're unaware of the whole. You cannot even imagine it. Completely oblivious of a greater existence, an ancient existence, what you really are and what you come from. This world is full of sheep, but maybe you're one who can see. Are you ready to connect? Hello everyone, it's me. I've put most of the weight back on within about 3 weeks of setting out, emaciated with the shit equipment. I've been wandering most of that time, following this and following this, like I've learnt to over the last few years, with all the shit that I've been put through. Countless police chases, staying in all these places I'm not meant to be in, and knowing when people are going to come back, knowing when to leave, knowing when I walk across the mountains in the darkness that I'll be able to find shelter and water and food, with no income, in a starved state. I need to make a record of the condition of my body on I think it's day 54, without food. Then I was made to give up the rest of my belongings, and I go back out emaciated and weak with poor equipment, because the police took my equipment, £4,000 worth, and the police have changed my locks. I can't get the key back. I've been told 3 weeks ago is when they searched it. The policeman's got it in his pocket. All of that is in the previous video, 4 months ago. Hey, Mr. Policeman, you're going to declare me missing now, you pricks, for the 4th time? I'm homeless. How can I be missing when I haven't got an abode? Woke, please. So it's time to give you all a lesson. Quite a lot of you will be able to do this, if you're my people, but I need you to relax, to open your third eye. I need you to relax, empty your mind of all your preconceptions, be open and empty, and concentrate on the feelings from your body. Question 1. Do you ever get a blocked left ear? but find no wax blocking it. This happens to warn you about danger in the future. It happens when you're under a false belief or impression, and it happens when you're on the wrong path. If you get a block left ear, you need to stop what you're doing. Start asking questions. Get the answers and find the right path. So first of all, a blocked left ear, a change in pressure. Just stop. It's a warning. It's danger. It's time to think you're on the wrong path. Okay, question 2. Do you ever hear a high-pitched ringing, a whine inside your mind, and it's not in the ears? It's like it's inside your brain. This indicates that you're connected to L's network, because you can be connected both up or down. Your third eye connects to both heaven and hell. Left eye goes down, right eye up, third eye channels both. You need to make sure you're getting the right end of a stick. This network. If you have your own preconceived ideas or wants or desires and you're not following your third eye, you'll end up running yourself round in circles for this arsehole, a bad 'un. If there's no ringing and a blocked left ear, don't be a bad 'un's puppet. Let me tell you how I know this shit. Back when I was Elijah, there's a story. Elijah meets God at Mount Horeb. Kings 19:11. He said, "Go out and stand on the mountain before the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by. And there's a great wind, so strong that it was splitting mountains and breaking rocks in pieces before the Lord. But the Lord, he wasn't in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after an earthquake, a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, the sound of sheer silence." When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his mantle and he went out, and he stood at the entrance of the cave. And then came a voice to him that said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Well, that voice was the voice of El. It was him communicating with the Lord God's network through his third eye, in the silence, getting the high-pitched ringing. Just think, when you have destruction like an earthquake, or a raging fire, or an explosion, or a car crash, what do you hear the instant after, when everything goes quiet? You hear the ringing, the silence. The Lord God, El, our Father, he's in that silence. His network is in that silence. So if you're following a course of action and you've got this sound in your mind, you're generally on the right course. It's an indication you're getting the right end of the stick. But while you can hear it, you're following the right path. And don't forget about your ear. This happens to warn you about danger in the future. It happens when you're under a false belief or impression, and it happens when you're on the wrong path. If you get a blocked left ear, you need to stop what you're doing. Start asking questions. Get the answers and find the right path. So how do you get the right path? How do you get directions and answers through the third eye network? So empty your head of all your preconceptions. Ask questions inside your mind, and ask yes or no questions only. Make them clear. Clear your mind. Concentrate on feeling sensation. It feels like a finger touches your brow, presses on it. Empty mind, relax, and just feel. And ask the question with no preconceptions. Ask if I was once Elijah. Feel. Did you feel it? On your brow? Like a finger presses on your third eye. 4 times. There's a confirmation. Ask again, mind clear, and feel. Did you feel that? 4 pressures. 4 taps is a confirmation, but you must ask yes or no. You can now ask yourself questions and get your own answers, but I've got to warn you. You're being guided by intelligences that know your future path, and sometimes they guide you against what seems right to you at the time. They might outright mislead you, or lie to you, or let you believe a false belief to get you where they want. So if you was asking which path to follow, should I go this way, type of question, they may let you go round in a circle or back on yourself that seems stupid, but there's always a reason, because the grey that's watching over you has already looked ahead. And we know where to avoid and you know where you need to be. But we can't explain that, not through this simple third eye system. So they may trick you to get you where you need to be. And you have to learn to trust and follow the signs, even when it seems stupid or counterproductive. Because you're being guided by those who know the future, those who do all the predictive programming. They will let you operate under a false belief if it gets you where they need you to be for the future to progress as they've already seen it progresses. They're looking ahead and manipulating. We don't care how they get you there as long as they do. So you need patience and you need belief. I call it zigzagging. Right? They take you back and forth and they run you round. But be patient when you don't understand it. And if you stick with it till you get there, if you follow the signs in your body and signs around you, later on you'll gain the proper understanding of what just happened. But you have to trust them and see it through. You must follow instructions even when they don't make sense. And every time you do, you'll gain understanding afterwards. Now the third eye is directional. And you can track people, you can track animals, you can find food and water. It's like energy vibrating through your forehead between the eyes. 4 is a confirmation of the path, or yes or no answer. But more than that, the Neanderthal used this to find whatever they needed to survive. But Neanderthal children didn't have it, and they aged much slower than modern children. There's a lot of argument for this, but I know it's true. A Neanderthal was not considered an adult until they were over 100 years old. Once they'd grown this, all the vibrations through the forehead, and use it to track as well, it's directional. So I'm going to do this next bit just like when I've been sent to meet people, or people have been sent to me recently, and I've taught them person to person. Okay? So this and this are what guide you. This is a negative when it comes blocked, and this is a positive. And you can ask questions and you get a yes or no answer. So you need to ask, was I once Elijah? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is the other witness Uriel, who was once Noah? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. But as you ask, no preconceptions in your mind. Don't be thinking. Just ask and feel. Completely open. Okay? You pay attention to your blocked air. Now this is directional. If I get a blocked air and need to change path, I say, do I need to change path? I'm going about it wrong. Yeah, change path. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll literally stand there and I won't look directly with my eyes. I won't close them, but I'm not looking anymore. And I'll start scanning around like that, feeling through the bone of my forehead. Alright, and I'll turn, I'll move around and feel. When I find the right direction, I feel it, the pressure. Here. Okay? You lock onto it, it's directional. You'll feel it, saying go that way, follow that path. When you follow the path, and then maybe you take a wrong turn, and the crow will come and give you a sign, or something else will happen, or this will just get blocked, and you stop, and you go back, and you ask again, and you establish a new direction using this. Now, I want you to completely relax. Don't look at me directly, but look kind of just, out the side of your eyes. Right? Don't stare at me directly, because the eyes will blind you. You're doing stuff with your mind. Now, I'm going to sense, like that. And when I'm with people and I do this, as my head passes centre in front of theirs now, and I come past here, they feel it. Can you feel that? Just scan your head side to side without looking with your eyes. And when you're dead centre on me, do you feel that? That buzzing there? Now you can practice this. You can find your pet dog when you lose them out on a walk. You can find members of your family. It'll guide you to where there's water that's safe to drink and food when you're out in the wild. It will tell you the path to choose to avoid the police when the police are chasing you through the mountains with dogs and bikes. And you're just there with a rucksack on foot, tired. Yet you can get away if you pay attention to this and to this. So try that again. Just scan round, figure of 8 like that, trying to feel some sensation through the bone of your forehead ridge at the centre. And when you come past me, you feel that? You feel that? That little pulse in the middle of your forehead when you come past me? Yeah? Right. Now, I've actually taught people to do this on the phone. I've been told that this will work online with those who can do it. Not everybody can do it. But enough of us in 144,000 can that as a group, we'll always know when danger's going to come. We always know which way to go to find the rest of us. You can tell the rest of our people. A lot of them will have been placed around you if you're one of mine, because that's how all this works. And you can feel them. So you can find people and you feel it there. You know, when you're scanning round and you pick up that vibration, right, you can lock onto them. You can find them even in darkness when you can't see with these, because it's nothing to do with these. Yeah? But in order for all of this stuff to work, you must have no preconceptions. You can't be chasing things that you want to chase. Right? You'll always get what you need, not necessarily what you want. When you ask questions, you must phrase them in the right way. You must say, ask yes or no questions, but when you're talking to the network, give good reasons and explanations of why you want to know. And ask simple yes or no questions. And pay attention to this, 1, 2, 3, 4, or to this being blocked, which can mean you're under a false belief. So I'm going to give you an example now of how all this works in reality in the real world. So I was in Horton Green, Bothy, a mountain hut off Hadrian's Wall a few weeks ago. And I was fasting for 2 weeks to seek a vision I'd been told to go and seek. And all these people got sent to me one day and then the next day and the next day. And they were open and I was able to teach them about the third eye. And it worked. They could get their answers. 1, 2, 3, 4. They could sense where the dogs was. One of them told me a story about when he'd been lost in the mountains and he just knew to follow a bird, and the bird led him to safety when he didn't have the equipment he needed to survive. Getting distracted. I was going to give you a lesson. So I was staying in Horton Green, Bothy. The evening before I had to leave, all night long, blocked left ear. So I ask, am I in danger tonight? Nothing. So I'm not in danger tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I knew I was all right for the night. In the morning, 2 people turn up from the Mountain Boffins Association. The last people who'd been and stayed who had met me have been and grassed on me. So they come to check on me. Been told I was fasting and I was a bit strange or whatever. They brought me some food. They come and they spoke to me and they left. And I cooked the food, had a blocked ear, knew it was time to leave. I knew the police were going to come. I cooked the food, ate the food, and I left. And I walk outside the front door. And I go to turn one direction, and I get a blocked left ear. Right, blocked left ear. So I ask, which way am I to go then? And I scan round. And this comes on, feel it, shows me another path. So I go, no questions, I just do what I'm told and I follow the direction it told me. I walk out across the valley to the bottom of the field, and just as I turn behind the cover of a wall, 2 policemen arrive at the bothy and I see them. So I drop down behind the wall. I'm trapped. The police are at the bovey, a couple of 100 metres away above me, and I'm stuck down behind a wall, and they're higher than me, and they'll see me if I move. So I ask for them to let me know when it's safe for me to move, to influence them not to look. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's saying go now, go now, go now. So I go, and I clear the distance till I'm out of sight on a path, and I start walking, and I'm asking, am I safe yet? Block left there. So I need to keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go, 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 go. Keep going. You're in danger. And I walked down this path, and my crows came, and they showed me a new path. And this said that was the way. And I could hear motorbikes and dogs on the hills behind me. Anyway, I follow the crows and I follow the signs, and I get tuck along Hadrian's Wall at the bottom of a cliff with the police above me looking for me, and I'm walking below them, guided that way by the signs and the crows. And it wasn't until I'd covered 8 miles at speed that this and this told me I was safe. And that's how it applies to the real world. You have to listen to the signs in your body and pay attention when this lets you know to the world around you for signs in the world. And always remember, when you've got the ringing inside your mind, the high-pitched whine, then you're on the right path. You're in the groove. And you want to keep that noise in your mind. You want to keep the left ear unblocked, and you want to follow this and ask it questions. Ask them questions. And that's it. Prophets are like animals. A lot of 144,000. You can do this. You have to practice so when the shit hits the fan you can help, gather and protect the others who can't. When the white horses arrives, Nissan 2026, you'll be ready to use these gifts that we all use daily when we lived hand in hand with L's network, with our father, as Neanderthal. Now, Neanderthal women bred with the Watchers, which was basically angelic life in a different form of body, so a being of light in a hermaphrodite lizard body, which wasn't unnatural, and they came from Sirius with advanced technology on ships, and they were the Watchers, and they weren't meant to mate, and they did. These bipedal hermaphrodite lizards, but hermaphrodite wasn't unnatural on their world, but that was the reason they were forbidden to mate on this world, because it is on this world. Now, the children of the Neanderthal women and the Watchers, who were from a completely different world, a completely different system, without male or female, well, their offspring was the Denisovians, the Nephilim.
Roderick, why is it, right, people always scream before they die? Do they think it's going to help us?
Children of Neanderthal women and hermaphrodite lizard Watchers from Sirius. And the offspring of this unholy union was, some of them were giants, and the first flesh to be tied to hell. Both Neanderthal and Denisovian were very robust and lived long lifespans. Just look at the teeth compared to a modern human, and the overall general size difference. Well, anyway, every modern human has been bred deliberately or killed. Like, all the Neanderthals were killed. Every modern human has been bred deliberately now between Denisovian, Nephilim, and Neanderthal to produce Homo sapien, in order to tie every single person alive today in the world to this system in hell. You've got one eye up, one eye down. Now look at the Neanderthal and Denisovian. Look at the size in comparison to a modern human. They were built to last. Brow Ridge developed over 100 years. Now I know Noah, and he told me the ark was a coracle, and there were 4 more families riding in this boat. And the line of Seth died with Noah, and now only the serpent remains. Adam and Eve didn't exist. They represent races, Neanderthal and Denisovian. And Abel dies, and the line of Cain, the line of Seth continue. 1 Neanderthal and 1 the offspring of the Watchers. Now, when you get down to Noah, everybody talks about his wife Naamah. And they say, oh, it's not the evil Naamah who was a sister of Tubal-Cain. Except it was, and I'm going to show you this later on. Now note the colours in the Ozzy Osbourne video. And Ozzy drops in on the right, and the 2 fleshes come together and the colour changes come. I've matched the colour changes on the chart to the Ozzy video. Look at the left arm. Look at this from Noah, the split tree, 2 trunks, and there's 1 snake births another with 2 sets of eyes. Yeah? It's knowledge and flesh. It's on about this, really. The birthing of a new race that's tied to hell. Y and X, 1 eye up, 1 eye down. Remember all of that. Remember the long lifespans in the Bible that nobody believes anymore. This is what I have been shown happened. Adam is man of the red clay, it means Neanderthal, and originally they were all cherubim until we started sending prophets back, and the Nephilim were linked to hell, right, because it was unsanctioned flesh. Hell was created for them, and then everybody else who ran away was made a breeding of the 2 deliberately over time, and a killing of anybody else to breed everybody into modern human. Take the 3rd eye away from you, make you blind. The modern world portrays Neanderthal man as a gorilla-like cave dweller, a barbarian proto-human presented as unintelligent, but they had a larger brain than us, and there's evidence for longer lifespans. And they lived a spiritual existence, but they had, look at the teeth, they had teeth that lasted a long time, far more robust. The modern human was not built to last. There's deliberate mixing, and it's in the Ozzy video, right? Adam, in Hebrew, son of a red earth, talking about the Y energy of cherubim in the clay, and the Watchers drop into the red energy which starts on the right, red blood, and another blood or energy joins in the blue, the light and the dark in the earlier videos. It's the birth of the twin system, and these 2 lines live alongside, just like in that family chart I showed you, the line of Cain and the line of Seth. Yeah, they live alongside, right, until the flood, and at that point they're deliberately bred together and the 2 become 1. See the mixing of a purely red Neanderthal energy from the cherubim. See, once the unsanctioned flesh became available, seraphim could run away too, the older angels. The mixing continues until the present. An interbred elite class maintains stronger hermaphrodite bloodlines. And I'll show you all this in the other videos, right? It's what the serpent represents. It's what Neanderthal is. It's what we used to be. But now we're 2 in 1. In the flesh. Linked to a system. Neanderthal, the Y energy, the energy of heaven, the preferred energy, and Denisovian, Nephilim, double X, the energy going down, light and dark, red and blue, and the 2 together, Homo sapien. It mirrors the symbology and the colours in the Ozzy videos, and everywhere you see the signs if your eyes are open. Angel and serpent. Noah and Nama. Noah was the last Neanderthal, the last one that counted. There was others, but he was sent. And all the offspring, after that point, were deliberately bred, not pure as everybody believes, but with these 4 families of Nephilim that were on the ark that Noah's told me about. That's what Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe was. Them getting ready to go out and become the Anunnaki. All it takes to enslave a race of hunter-gatherers is to bring them seeds and turn them into farmers. Handbags full of seed. And the secret's rubbed in your face in music videos. And in films. Birth of a darker race connected to a twin system. And Vatican's built upon a secret, a serpent. Vatican means to divine, a divining serpent. The building's shaped like a serpent. It gives birth to another side building shaped like a serpent. Celebrating the Immaculate Conception, which was Parthenogenesis. That place it lies in between, the hermaphrodite elites. I'll show you in the videos. This is what it's all about, really. All the symbolism. I'm going to share some stories from Noah Kida. Noah. 2 years ago, my father, in the flesh, in this life, I told him I was once John, and he stopped talking to me for over 2 months. And then I was shown that I was once Shem, and he was once Noah, and he'd been my father before, and I told him. And he spoke to me, and this is what he said. He said, "They've forgotten my name, son. My name was Noah Kida." And this is in front of his wife, who was in shock at the time, and still takes a piss now. He says, "My sons, they were called Japheth, Ham, and Shem." And he says, we came from the mountains of Armenia. He says, "I parked my boat on Mount Ararat. Now, I've seen the ark in a vision. It's a coracle, I've seen it. Dropped in the spot where it's in my playlist videos, and you can see it yourself. The ark was a coracle. And he told me a story. He's got some profound stories. He tells me a story about the elephants on the ark. He says, we put the elephants at the side. But we had a problem. The elephants rocked the coracle incessantly every night. So we moved them into the middle. And then it was alright. Now the prophets are all seraphim, serpent angels, light and dark of the energy, and so are 144,000, and I know this because I am Michael. I'm in charge. And Michael was sent to Shem, just as Uriel was sent to Noah. It tells you in the book of Enoch, "Then said the Most High, the Holy and the Great One spoke, and he sent Uriel to the son of Lamech." You can only live in a body in this world as an angel. I tell him he's Uriel, and he remembers. Starts speaking in ancient Jewish. He is seraphim inside, just like me and just like you, the 144,000, light and dark, the older kind of angel. And that's why we can see. And a prophet is connected above and connected below. And it's a system, it's automatic. And if we don't get it right, we die like anybody else and we're trapped inside our worm. But if we succeed, we ascend to beat this system. If we understand the true nature of heaven and hell in this life in the flesh, then we're allowed to go in the ship and go up there and see it, but only if we get to the truth. Well, I nailed it when I was Elijah, and I'm onto the truth this time. I'm going to show all of you. Noah died, and he woke trapped in darkness. And he says, I couldn't escape, I just couldn't get out, I was trapped. He was trapped inside his worm. He said, Raphael had to come and get me. And he took me to a ladder. And we went up the ladder. into a red room. I don't know if that's a red energy or back into the flesh or whatever, but Raphael slew his worm and set his energy free. He told me memories about how we used to give thanks when we were in Neanderthal. And we didn't have any of the bullshit we've got now. We didn't have any buildings or temples. We built nothing permanent. We lived a spiritual existence with our third eye. It's all we needed. We had everything we needed. And we didn't have books like Bibles, and we didn't write anything down. We had amazing memories. We knew about every single plant and every single animal and what they could be used for, and we could use our third eye to contact people or find things that we needed. We didn't need books or Bibles. We lived a spiritual existence. The third eye. We were hunter-gatherers. And we would go out and we would choose a rock in a beautiful place, and we would name this rock. Noah says our family's stone was called the Porphyry Stone. And we would go out under the stars in darkness with a live animal that we'd caught, and we would spray its blood upon the rock as we slaughtered it. And that signalled El that we wanted him to come and join us for a meal to give thanks. And we would cook that animal with all the best food we could find, and we would eat it, and we would ask our father to come and enjoy the meal with us through the link he's got. That's all it was. So Noah told me a story about Tubal-Cain when he was in hospital, really suffering and not quite with it. And he says, Tubal-Cain was my brother, and he was a blacksmith. And he says it like he loved him. Tubal-Cain was his brother, but we know he wasn't his brother. It means he was his brother-in-law. It means he married Naamah. Now, the way he spoke about him, I think they were friends. Tubal-Cain lived to be over 900 years old, Noah said. He said the exact age. I can't remember now. It was a phone call. And then he said, and Tubal-Cain, he had 2 sons, and he named them both specifically and named their specific ages, both over 600. And he says, one of his lads, and he named him again, he smashed his arm, and he went rotten, and he dropped off. The bone was sticking out, and you could see the marrow. So he's ill in his hospital bed telling me this, and he looks up and he grins and he laughs and he says, so we all called him Stinky, and had a great big laugh about it. Profound memories, speaking in ancient Jewish. I asked him about Naamah, and he didn't want to talk about Naamah, but I pressed him on this, and eventually got to the truth. When I pressed him on this, he said this. And this is all he said. I think I might have threw her off the boat. Well, I can't prove these things to you, but I can show you in the symbology in the stories, and you can ask in your third eye. Naamah, like Noah in this life, was my mother and father. The spirit of Naamah is inside my mum, and she's damned. Ask your third eye if that's true. 4 taps. You see, I am the son of man, and the son of man is the son of Noah, the son of the last Neanderthal, Shem, who I once was. And in this life, I'm once again the son of he who was once Noah, the last Neanderthal. And that's why I'm teaching you all of this spiritual third eye stuff. Because I'm Michael, eldest son of El, and Uriel is the second eldest son of El. And we are the 2 witnesses. And he was once Noah, and I was once Shem. And we lived both before the deluge and after. Witnesses for those above of everything that's happening down here. And here we both are again in another life, and it's a big show, and I'm the first witness, and my dad in this life is the second. And we are from before the destruction, and we'll be there afterwards once again, the witnesses. I'm suffering my 1260 days in sackcloth. I believe I've got 8 months left now. 8 months of wandering, following the third eye, meeting all of my people and teaching you about the true nature of heaven, which isn't in the videos. About the third eye, the ancient skills, the way we used to live. This is what it's all been about. All the craziness, all the running around, all the pursuits of the police to wake it up. So here we are, near the end of what I'm teaching you right now. And for Christmas and New Year, I came back out the wild, and I'm here. You remember Max? Max, say hello. Say hello, buddy. Yeah? Here he is. That's Max. You remember Max? He's alright. He's from a friend. Now, I had to go out, seek a vision, fast for 2 weeks. And I had the vision, and it was a UFO coming to land in a certain place. And the night before, it came across the valley. Now, I've been seeing them from a distance for the past year in the sky, several of them at once sometimes, and they flash blue and white, or blue and red and white, and they're everywhere. And if you look at them with binoculars, you'll see that the lights flash independently, whereas from a distance it's all blurry. Get some binoculars out and have a look, and you'll see that these objects in the sky are nothing made by man. I've seen one close up. Get some binoculars, have a look, start paying attention to the skies.